As of recently, Jurassic World has created their version of the Pyroraptor, which currently is the most accurate dromaeosaur in the Jurassic Park franchise. And I originally thought was the very first feathered dromaeosaur in the Jurassic Park franchise. But there's actually the male velociraptors in Jurassic Park 3, or Quilliam, and the fully feathered velociraptors in the IDW comics. This design is pretty nice looking. I really like the head feathers and the nice red coloring, which I now associate with Pyroraptor. And in this video, I'm going to be talking about all the good and bad parts about the Jurassic World Pyroraptor. First, I'm going to talk about the bad parts, or the inaccuracies, and then I'll move on to the good parts of the Pyroraptor. First is something that Jurassic Park has been doing for a long time, missizing dinosaurs. And for the Pyroraptor, it's too large. The real-life Pyroraptor was actually pretty small, a lot smaller than Velociraptor and Atrociraptor. Jurassic World actually got the order in which is larger and which is smaller for the dromaeosaurs, with Atrociraptor being the largest and Pyroraptor being the smallest. Next are the fingers. Now, while the Pyroraptor has the correct number of fingers and the fingers don't look too bad, it's the placement of the fingers. They're not connected correctly to the wings. They're actually freed from the wings. You can actually see all of them freed from the wings. In reality, only one of the fingers would have been freed because Pyroraptor and all dromaeosaurs had the last two finger digits connected to the wings. This is unfortunately a cliche with most feathered dromaeosaur reconstructions, with them having large wings, but the fingers are not correctly connected to the wings, and instead are free, which was not likely in reality. And instead, the last two finger digits were connected to the wings while the first finger was freed. Next is the shrink wrapping in the amount of plumage. Now, while the Pyroraptor is accurately portrayed to be fully feathered, it doesn't have enough feathers, because the underbelly and legs are completely scaly and don't have feathering, which doesn't make sense since this thing is a dromaeosaur and would have had feathers on its belly and its legs, and since this thing lives in a cold climate, so it should have at least its belly and legs be also feathered. I don't know why they didn't add any on its legs or stomach. It's also shrink wrapped, as you can see here. The torso is very thin, and the face has the fenestrae exposed, when in reality, all dinosaurs would have had their fenestrae covered in layers of skin, not be tightly wrapped around their face. This only would happen if these things were starving. Speaking of its face, the face is honestly the worst part about the Pyroraptor. It has the ugliest face out of all the dromaeosaurs that have appeared in the Jurassic Park franchise. It looks like an Allosaurus got punched in the face multiple times and had to go through plastic surgery. Look, I love the Pyroraptor and its design, but why did they make the face so freaking ugly? For the Velociraptor and Atrociraptors, they gave them pretty nice looking faces. But for this thing, it looks like they beat it up so much because it was feathered. Why did you do this? This is what the face should realistically look like. A long, thin snout with round, bird-like pupils. Not a face that looks like it got beaten up multiple times with disgusting slit pupils. The pupils, in my opinion, are pretty inaccurate, since I doubt that dromaeosaurs had slit pupils like some reptiles and instead would have had round, bird-like pupils. Since the face looks so ugly, there are many edits to make the face look a lot better. And in my opinion, why couldn't the face look like some of these edits? Like, come on, these edits look so much nicer and 100% more accurate. The face luckily does not ruin the plushies though. They look really cute. Alright, now that I'm done with the bad parts about the design, now let's move on to the good parts. One positive that is very good is that this thing is fully feathered. And not just fully feathered, has the correct type of feathers, contour feathers, which is the type of feathers that most likely all dromaeosaurs had. Having large wings, having a large tail fan, and even having head feathers, which I really, really like. I actually think that Pyroraptor might have had head feathers. Another accurate detail, the Pyroraptor has lips. Now, while it is hard to see in some shots, the Pyroraptor does actually have lips. Even though for some reason in a lot of toys, it's portrayed to not have lips and instead having exposed teeth. Why did they do that? The Pyroraptor is also shown to be very smart. Now, while dromaeosaurs don't have any evidence of them being super smart, big brain boys, this is still a cool detail I want to mention. It's also shown to swim. Now, while Pyroraptor doesn't have any evidence of being semi-aquatic, it could likely swim because most dinosaurs, even if they weren't semi-aquatic, could probably swim, like maybe dromaeosaurs and especially T-Rex. Just like with Zeb and the Therizinosaurus, the Pyroraptor is shown to have its hands in the correct inwards hand position most of the time it's seen on camera. Sure, it sometimes does look like it pronates its wrists, but most of the time it's holding its hands in the correct hand position, like Zeb and the Therizinosaurus. Some of the toys portrayed with its hands being in the incorrect downwards hand position, which, by the way, dinosaurs couldn't do. Not even birds can do this. Anyway, this is going to be all for this video. If I missed anything, tell me in the comments below. But anyways, bye everyone. I'm going to end off with this image because I think it's cute.